All right, so today we are diving deep into the world of e-readers.
Ooh, exciting.
It is exciting,
Yeah.
especially because I know that our listeners really are very interested in this world. And today we're going to be looking at a very specific e-reader,
Okay.
the Kobo Clara Color.
The Kobo Clara Color.
We've got the Amazon page pulled up here
Excellent.
with all the juicy details. And you know what really makes a difference when you're trying to figure out if a device is right for you?
What's that?
Reviews.
Reviews, yes. Absolutely.
User impressions can make or break a decision.
Yeah, 100%.
So we're going to be looking at those a little bit later on. But first, let's talk about some of the things that stand out about this e-reader.
Sounds good.
And I think the most obvious one, and the one that they really hit hard on that product page, is the color. This is not your typical black and white e-reader.
Right. This is Color E. Ink technology, which is quite different.
Explain it to me.
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
Instead of having a backlight, like your phone or your computer screen,
Right.
e-ink uses ambient light. So the light that's already around you.
Okay.
And it reflects it off of these tiny little microcapsules.
Microcaps.
Yeah, they're like these little tiny spheres, and they contain pigmented particles.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so when you're looking at the screen, you're actually seeing those pigments reflecting the light back at you.
So that's why people say it's easier on the eyes.
Exactly. It's more like reading actual paper.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so adding color to this technology was kind of a challenge.
I bet.
Because you're not going to get those same, like, super vibrant colors that you would from a standard LCD screen. Think of it more like watercolors versus like a really bright acrylic painting.
Okay.
It's a softer, more nuanced palette.
Got it.
It's made for reading comfort, not watching, high-def videos.
So no catching the latest Marvel movie on this thing.
Probably not, unless you want to see it in like sepia tones.
Okay, sepia tones only.
But for things like comics, graphic novels,
Yes.
where you really care about the detail, the line work, the texture,
That would make sense.
the color ink could be a really big deal.
And you know what else I was thinking about as you were talking about it being easier on the eyes?
Yeah.
For those of us who are prone to a little bit of eye strain after we've been staring at a screen for too long,
Right.
maybe that gentler color is actually a good thing.
That's a really good point. And you know what else Kobo did that I thought was interesting?
Tell me.
They incorporated this technology called ComfortLight PRO.
ComfortLight PRO.
Yes.
Breakdown for me. What is that?
Okay, so imagine you have like a dimmer switch on a light bulb.
Okay.
But instead of just brightness, you can also adjust the warmth of the light.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can go from like a cool, almost bluish light to a warmer, more yellowish light.
Right.
ComfortLight PRO does that for your e-reader.
Oh, that's cool.
And the idea is that it can help to reduce blue light exposure.
Which is supposed to be better for if you're reading before bed.
Right. Exactly, can mess with your sleep.
It definitely can.
So this is supposed to help with that.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice feature.
Because I don't know about you, but I am guilty of
Tell me.
sneaking in one more chapter before bed.
Yeah.
And then it's 2, and then it's 3, and then suddenly it's way too late.
I've been there.
But one thing I did notice in the reviews,
Okay.
people were saying that the screen can be a little bit dark, especially in low light conditions.
That's true. That's actually not unique to the Clara Color, though.
Really?
It's kind of just an e-ink thing
Oh,
because it relies on reflected light.
all right.
If there's not a lot of ambient light to begin with,
It's not going to reflect.
it's going to be tougher to see.
So sunny day, reading by the pool, excellent.
Perfect.
Cozy night reading in bed. You might have to crank up that ComfortLight PRO.
Exactly. And that's where personal preference comes in.
Yeah, good point.
Some people might not mind.
Yeah.
Some people might need it really bright.
Yeah,
So it's something to think about,
definitely.
depending on your reading habits.
Okay, so we talked about the color, which is a big deal.
Huge.
But what about practicality?
Okay.
Because one of the things that I always think about with e-readers is I want to take it to the beach. I want to be able to read in the bathtub
Sure.
without worrying about destroying it.
Makes sense.
And this thing is waterproof.
It is. It's got an IPX8 rating.
Okay, IPX8 rating, that sounds very official.
Very official.
But what does that actually mean?
So essentially, you could dunk this e-reader in up to 2 meters of water for an hour,
Wow.
and it should be totally fine.
Okay, so we're talking like accidental spills, no problem.
Exactly.
Reading into the bath, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Even if you get caught in a sudden downpour,
You'll survive.
that's amazing because I am one of those people who is prone to spilling things.
Well, I hear that.
So this is like music to my ears.
Peace of mind.
Yes, exactly. Peace of mind. Not that I'm going to take it scuba diving with me, but
Maybe not.
it's good to know that it can handle
It can handle
a
it.
little bit of a splash.
Exactly.
Okay, so color waterproof.
Check and check?
Check and check. Now, this next part is huge, I think, especially for the learners out there.
Okay, tell me more.
The Kobo Clara Color works seamlessly with library books
Oh,
through Overdrive.
I love Overdrive.
Overdrive is amazing.
Yes.
Because it means that you're not locked into just one ecosystem.
Right. It's not like the Kindle world where you can only get books from Amazon.
Exactly.
This opens up a whole world of possibilities.
It does.
You can borrow books from your local library.
It's amazing.
You don't have to buy everything.
And I was thinking about this, like, imagine you're prepping for a presentation.
Okay.
And you need to do a bunch of research, and you need these really specific books that would normally cost you a fortune.
Textbooks.
Yes, exactly. Or just like niche topics.
Yeah.
Instead of having to shell out all that money,
Right.
you can just borrow them digitally through your Kobo and Overdrive.
That's amazing. I love that.
It's a game changer.
It is.
Especially for learners.
Especially for learners.
They're constantly trying to learn new things and expand their knowledge.
Exactly. And it's so much more affordable.
Exactly.
It just makes learning more accessible to everyone.
Yes, I love that.
It's fantastic.
Okay, so we've got color, we've got waterproof, we've got the open ecosystem with Overdrive.
We're on a roll.
We are on a roll. But let's talk about some of the things that we've been seeing in the reviews.
Okay, let's do it.
Because while there's a lot of positive feedback,
Sure.
there are always
Of course.
a few things that people...
Areas for improvement.
Yes, exactly. And one that I noticed was about the color accuracy.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
Some users found it to be a little bit, well, underwhelming.
Underwhelming.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't quite as vibrant as they were expecting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I think part of that goes back to what we were talking about before.
About it being e-ink.
About it being e-ink.
Yeah.
It's a different technology than an LCD screen.
It's not an apple-to-apples comparison.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can't really expect those same super vibrant colors that you're going to get from your phone or your tablet.
Right. It's like comparing a watercolor painting. Yeah.
To a high-definition photograph.
Perfect analogy.
They both have their merits.
Right.
But you wouldn't expect them to look exactly the same.
Exactly. And you also have to remember that e-ink relies on reflected light.
Right.
So the ambient light in your environment is going to play a role in how those colors look.
That's a really good point.
If you're in a dimly lit room, those colors are naturally going to appear a bit more muted than if you were outside on a bright, sunny day.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, it's not that the Clara color is bad.
Right.
It's just different.
It's different.
And maybe different is okay in this case, right? Because we're talking about reading. We're not talking about watching, you know, an action movie. So maybe you don't need those super vibrant colors.
Maybe it's actually better for your eyes.
Yeah, because think about how strained your eyes get.
No.
When you're staring at a really bright screen for hours on end.
All day long.
So maybe this is a good thing.
I mean, it's a feature, not a bug.
Exactly.
I like that.
Right, and plus we talked about all those customization options.
Oh, yeah.
You can always tweak the settings.
Exactly. If the default color settings aren't working for you, dive into those options.
Play around with it.
Play around with the contrast, the sharpness.
See what works best for you.
Even the warmth of the backlight with that ComfortLight PRO feature.
Great.
You can really customize it to your liking.
I like that a lot. And you know what else I liked?
What's that?
Speaking of the reviews, there was one review in particular that really caught my eye.
Okay.
And I have to admit, it made me chuckle a little bit.
Oh, love a good chuckle.
So somebody decided to attach a magnetic pop socket.
A pop socket.
A pop socket.
Okay.
To the back of their Kobo.
Interesting. How did that go?
It did not go well.
Oh, no.
Because, as it turns out, e-ink displays can be a little bit sensitive to magnetic interference.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, so lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Don't put your magnetic pop socket.
Maybe double check for potential clashes before you stick anything magnetic on your precious e-reader.
On your precious Kobo, because you might run into some problems.
You might interfere with the display.
Yeah.
But you know what I did love seeing in the reviews?
What's that?
A lot of people were raving about the library borrowing feature.
Oh, yeah.
Overdrive was a big hit.
It's a fan favorite.
It is a fan favorite.
And for good reason.
For good reason. It gives you access to so many books.
So many books.
Without having to pay a fortune.
It's amazing.
It's like having a library at your fingertips.
Exactly.
And, you know, for people who are trying to save money.
Yes.
For students.
For learners.
For learners.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We talked about the color e-ink.
Yes.
We talked about the waterproof design.
Right.
The open ecosystem with overdrive.
Yes.
We even talked about rogue pop sockets.
Rogue pop sockets.
We just explored it all.
We've covered it all. But,
There's still more to come.
ooh, excited.
So stay tuned.
I can't wait.
It's really cool that they've got that IPX8 rating. I feel like more and more devices are becoming waterproof these days.
Yeah, it's definitely a trend.
Which is a good thing.
It is.
Because, accidents happen.
Exactly. You don't want to be afraid to take your e-reader to the beach or
Exactly.
to the bathtub.
Exactly.
Or, if you get caught in the rain.
Right.
These things happen.
And especially for something like an e-reader,
Yeah.
where you're likely to be using it in those kinds of environments.
Exactly. You want it to be able to withstand a little bit of moisture.
Exactly. And it's not just about being waterproof.
Yeah.
It's about having that peace of mind.
Exactly.
Knowing that you don't have to baby it.
You don't have to keep it in a case all the time.
Ex-
You can just relax and enjoy your book.
Yes, exactly. And speaking of enjoying your books,
Yes.
let's circle back to that whole library thing.
Overdrive.
Overdrive, because I feel like that's a really big deal.
It's huge.
Especially for people who
Who read a lot.
read a lot or who are on a budget.
Yes, or who like to try new things.
Exactly.
You're not stuck with just the books that you've purchased.
Right. You can browse your library's collection.
Exactly.
You would discover new authors,
New genres.
new genres without having to commit to buying anything.
And you know what else I love about Overdrive?
What's that?
It's not just for e-readers.
Oh, that's right.
You can use it on your phone,
Your tablet.
your computer.
So you can really take your library with you wherever you go.
Wherever you go, it's amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
Technology is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool when it works.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the color. We've talked about the waterproof design. We've talked about Overdrive.
I've covered a lot of ground.
We have. But let's dive into those reviews a little bit more.
Okay, let's do it.
Because there's one more thing I want to touch on.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And it has to do with the color again.
Okay.
But not the vibrancy this time.
Oh, okay.
This time it's about the accuracy.
The accuracy.
So some users have commented that the colors on the Clara Color aren't always true to life.
Interesting. What do you mean?
So, like, for example,
Okay.
a blue sky
Yeah?
might look a little bit more purple,
Oh, interesting.
or a green tree
Okay.
might look a little bit more blue.
Huh. Wonder why that is.
Well,
Do the reviews say?
yeah, they don't really go into a ton of detail,
Oh.
but my guess, and this is just a guess,
Sure.
is that it has something to do with the limitations of e-ink technology.
That makes sense.
Right.
It's still a relatively new technology.
Exactly.
Especially the color e-ink.
Right.
So it's bound to have a few quirks.
Exactly. And I'm sure as the technology continues to develop,
Yeah.
we'll see improvements in this area.
I bet we will.
But for now,
Yeah.
it's something to be aware of.
Definitely. If color accuracy is super important to you,
Right.
then you might want to wait for the next generation of color e-readers.
Or stick with a black and white model.
Those are always an option.
They are.
But you know what I will say?
What's that?
Even if the colors aren't always perfectly accurate,
Yeah.
I think it's still really cool
Oh, absolutely.
to have a color e-reader.
It's a game changer.
It really enhances the reading experience.
Especially for things like comics and graphic novels.
Yeah, imagine reading your favorite graphic novel in full color.
It's amazing.
It's a whole new level of immersion.
It is. And I think it just makes the whole reading experience
More enjoyable.
more enjoyable, more engaging.
More vibrant.
More vibrant. Exactly.
Me too. Okay, so we've talked about the waterproof design. We've talked about Overdrive. We've talked about the color accuracy.
You've covered a lot.
We have, but we're not done yet.
There's still more.
There's still more to come, so stay tuned.
I can't wait.
It's like they always say, check for those magnets.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Magnets and electronics don't always mix. Unless you're talking about like the little magnets that hold your e-reader case closed.
Oh, yeah, those are fine.
Those are acceptable magnets.
Those are the good kind of magnets.
But yeah, rogue pop sockets. Beware.
Beware.
Okay, but on a more positive note,
Yes, let's end on a positive note.
let's talk about those glowing reviews.
Oh, yes. The people who love their Kobo Clara colors.
Because there are a lot of them.
There are.
And one of the things that people seem to be really happy about
Tell me.
is that library borrowing feature.
Overdrive.
Overdrive, it's a hit.
It's a fan favorite for a reason.
It makes sense, though.
It does.
Especially when you think about the cost of books these days.
Oh my gosh, yes. Ebooks can be so expensive,
It's crazy.
especially if you're a big reader.
Exactly.
It can really add up.
So to have access to all of those books
Thousands of books,
for free
essentially for free.
through your local library,
It's an amazing resource.
it's incredible.
It is.
I love it. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. We've gone deep
We've done a deep dive
into the world of the Kobo Clara Color.
We've talked about the color e-ink,
The waterproof design,
the open ecosystem,
overdrive,
the color accuracy,
the rogue pop sockets.
those rogue pop sockets. We've explored it all.
We've left no stone unturned.
And I think it's safe to say
What's that?
that the Kobo Clara Color
Yes.
is a very interesting device.
It's intriguing.
It's intriguing. It's innovative.
It's pushing the boundaries of e-reader technology.
It is, and it offers a lot of features
A lot of features,
that are really appealing.
especially for certain types of readers, like people who love to read graphic novels,
Yes, or people who are really into color.
or people who borrow a lot of books from the library.
Yes, exactly.
It's got something for everyone.
It does, but at the end of the day,
Yes.
the decision of whether or not to buy one
It's a personal one.
is a personal one, and it really comes down to...
Your individual needs and preferences.
Exactly.
What kind of reader are you?
What are your priorities?
What are you looking for in an e-reader?
So we're going to leave you with this.
Okay.
Think about your reading habits.
Yes.
Think about your budget,
Yes.
and then ask yourself,
Okay.
is the Kobo Clara Color
Yes.
the right e-reader for me?
Ooh, good question.
And that's our deep dive.
Excellent.
We'll see you next time.